Hello everyone, this is section 5.3, which is inflation and interest rate. We all know that inflation is rise in prices of goods and services in an economy in a given time period, right? And interest rate could be the amount that is paid to us by government or central bank or any such institution when we invest in their bonds or we deposit some amount in their account. Okay, for now we are just assuming this case where we have deposited a certain amount, and for the same we are supposed to receive interest rate. Okay, so interest rate is basically of two types: nominal interest rate and real interest rate. Nominal interest rate is amount received by us from bank. Okay, and real interest rate is increase in purchasing power due to the interest rate. Nominal interest rate is denoted by I and real interest rate is denoted by R. Okay, now let us understand this concept with an example. Now imagine that you deposited a certain amount, say rupees 1000 in 2020. Okay, and the bank promised you to pay interest of 10% on the same. And also we have to take this fact in consideration that the inflation rate was 10% in 2020. So by the end of year or starting of 2021, you were supposed to receive 1000, which is your principal amount, plus interest rate, which is 100, which is equal to 1100, right? You were supposed to receive this much. Now, since you were an economist, you started with your calculations and realized that there was also this inflation in the economy at that time. So which basically means that okay, I have definitely received 1100, but inflation rose, which means the good that I would have got for rupees 1000 in 2020 will now cost me rupees 1100, which means that even though I've received 100 extra than what I've actually deposited, but the value remained the same, or my purchasing power didn't increase, it remained the same. Okay, now this brings us to this formula called R is equal to I minus inflation, where R is your real interest rate, I is your nominal interest rate, and pi is your inflation rate. Right? Now putting these values in this formula, we get nominal interest rate was 10% and inflation was again 10%, which makes real interest rate as 0%. And we can see that there was no increase in our purchasing value. Hence, actually a real interest rate was 0%. So this is a very important formula that you need to know. Now coming upon to Fisher's effect. We'll talk about this now. To be honest, if you just reshuffle the formula that we just learned, which is R is equal to I minus pi, you'll get Fisher's effect. Fisher said that nominal interest rate could only change in two cases, either in case of inflation or change in real interest rate. Okay, so according to Fisher, I is equal to pi plus R. Okay, now if you remember Fisher's approach from our last video, you'll remember that he also stated that mv is equal to py. Okay, where v and y were constant, so percentage change in money will be equal to percentage change in price. This percentage change in price is also known as inflation. And according to Fisher's effect, nominal interest rate could also change or be impacted by inflation. So this can also impact your interest rate. Therefore, this one-to-one relation between inflation and nominal interest rate is known as Fisher's effect. Okay, now we'll understand it very easy and we'll just relate the concepts from our previous videos. Now if you remember from the previous video, we learned that prices of bond is inversely related to the interest rate, right? Which means if interest rate has increased, then prices will decrease. And if interest rate has decreased, then prices will increase. Okay. Now, if there's inflation in an economy, automatically interest rate will say decrease, nominal interest rate will decrease, which will lead to increase in prices of bonds. Okay. This might not be very relevant for you all, but it's very relevant for the bankers, investment bankers, or shareholders. It helps them predicting prices of bonds. Okay, so this is it for this video. In the next video we'll be continuing with this same topic. Thank you.